Good morning, you beautiful peeps. My name's John, welcome to my channel. Today we have the comparison day between the XLF F17, I do love the F17, and the original WL Toys 144001. Now this is brand new out of the box, as what you'll be able to tell. This was sent to me by WL Toys themselves, so thank you very much. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to be doing with this one. It was sent as a mistake because it was supposed to be the 104001, but it's here, so I thought it's good to do the comparison with this one out of the box. I know that nothing has been taken out of this, nothing has been added, so this is bog standard, the same as this one, except for the CVD that I broke, so that's going in the pile. So job number one I thought I would do is weigh them so that we have a direct comparison there, because this one feels a lot heavier to me. Let's have a look. Are we in focus? I do hope so. Right. Down to 0. Yeah, let's do that at that end. This is all the bits that I've taken off the XLF. This was from yesterday's video. The Wednesday. Whoa. Balance. Okay, you can't see now, can you? Da, da, da. See my legs, but also 1.149 grams, 1.149 kilograms. So that is the XLF 1149. I wonder. Okay, where's this -5? Cool. Right, really? There we go. Okay, and whoa, 1015, and I will show you that this also has the battery in it. Everything else is in here, as you can tell, bog standard. So that's interesting. 10151149. So it's, I mean, it's not significant, but it is enough to make a difference. Now let me get rid of that. One other thing I wanted to try while we were here, and that is, can we share body shells? Yay eller nay? The answer is nay, we cannot, because obviously this one has that cut out. So now we get to the part that I'm kind of looking forward to, but also not, because it's going to take a lot of organization, and that is stripping down every part of both cars. Oh, look at all these bits already, and I've not even started stripping it down. Oh my god. And then we'll do a direct comparison. What parts can be moved across? What parts feel a better quality? I think we should get on. My dad always said, if a job's worth doing, it's worth doing right. Welcome back, everybody. As you can see, I have stripped down both cars as much as I can. And let me tell you, it's taken quite a long time. I'm now on day 3 of this project, but that's just because obviously I've got, you know, family and life continues. But, wow! I mean, it's really strange to see these cars in bits, because it actually doesn't look like that many bits, in my opinion. But I think the thing that we should do is just dive straight in and see what is compatible and what is not. And I think straight off the bat, you can clearly see that these are not nowhere near. All of the screw holes and everything are in the wrong position, so it's definitely not going to be compatible. And actually, you can also see, where was it? Yes. While this end is the same, the thickness here is completely different. So keep that one in mind. And working on that theory, this is the F17. Do these side panels fit? No, not at all. So they won't fit the other way either. So, top shelf. There is absolutely nothing that will fit on these. As you can see, the holes do not line up at all. It's interesting that this one's actually got that cover built into it as well. But again, that will not fit, and why we're there, we may as well go into the bottoms, and again, they're completely different. They also will not fit. So, battery holders. Da, da, da. The holes do not line up. And by the looks of it, the angles do not either. Do you know what? Considering this is supposed to be a direct clone of this one, or I don't know which came first, maybe that's supposed to be a direct clone of this one, they're both completely different. There's very few bits that I can see that will in fact fit onto the other car. I mean, like, I'll move on now to the front bumper. And obviously this is a lot more complex, but I think the F17's got a smaller one. But again, will not fit. This one's much thinner than this one. So that's definitely not going to fit either. The rear wing mounts are, let's go, like that. Yeah, I'm not going mad, am I? Yeah, like that. So again, not going to fit at all. That's those. What should we go on to now? Shocks. Will it be shocking or not? They are slightly different. Let me get a small pointing device. If you see, if I'm sort of, you can see firstly that red part's a lot longer than that one, but when I line those up, this one's slightly longer, but the shaft seems shorter. So they aren't the same. Measurement wise, oops, 14.9, 14.9, shaft length, thickness, 3.5, and 3. So these are actually slightly thicker, but shorter. I just want to bring them all over to make sure that they don't have different lengths for the front and the rear, which they do not. So thicker, but shorter. No comment there. The tops, yeah, there's no reason why they couldn't be shared. But, I mean, everything, I was just sort of looking at the bottom there again to see if they would fit, and I believe they would be. They would be able to. So, yes, the shocks can be shared if you want to get tougher shocks for your 144001. Now, what should we go on to? Tyres, I don't really see the point due to the fact that, you know, you could buy a set of these and fit them anyway, but yeah, you can share because they're both 12mm hexes. I'll be honest with you, I didn't particularly like these. They're a bit too hard. I mean, we bashed it for ages and they've not worn down at all, which is a good thing, but of course you don't have much grip. These always seem to grip a lot better. Right, controllers, it's pointless showing you those because they will not, this controller, for example, on that side will not work on the WO toys and vice versa. I will show you that at the end if I remember. We've already done the shells. The rear wings we know will not fit. So, differential casings. I'm going to move this out of the way. Differential casings on the F17 are identical as they are on the 144001. Front and rear are identical, but they cannot be shared due to the fact that they are completely different. This one's thinner, as you can tell, versus that one, but everything is different on them. So they also cannot be shared between models. Right. Suspension towers or shock towers. Absolutely not, cannot be shared. And the fronts, no, cannot be shared, because again the gap here is completely different. Okie dokie, interesting, isn't it? Gonna get in the steering system on the XLF now. I'll bring in the steering arms as well. Actually, let's just bring all the steering malarkey in on both sides. Here we go. Right, start with the easiest ones first. Different lengths. So no, they cannot be shared. These maybe could be shared, but yeah. There's on the WO toys, the ball joint is actually on the other arm, and the ball joints are sort of built into them. That's throughout the whole car on the steering and the tie rods as well. So keep that in mind. Maybe you could, but why would you want to? These are completely different thicknesses. Again, does that show that this one's a little bit stronger? I don't know. I've never had any of these bend, to be honest with you. But they cannot be shared either, which means that, quite frankly, these can't be shared either, because obviously, you know, they need to be able to fit in, and they will not. So again, it's absolutely pointless me taking them apart, because they just won't fit, will they? If I take that off, I mean, you could probably change the bearings inside and then they would fit, but why would you want to? Pointless measuring. I don't see the point, because it would be the same for these as well. The other side of the steering, everything's just out of position. It's slightly different. And even, I mean, obviously these can be wound up and down, but again, with the ball joint being in there, why would you want to share? How surprised are you guys, like I am, that nothing is so far shareable between them? Quite shocking. Okay, suspension. Let's do the rear first. And the rear on as these here. Okay, job number one, let's measure the pins, see whether they can be shared. 2.4. 2.4 lengthwise, completely different length on them. So they can't be shared. Again, rear tie rods. Where's the rear? The rear tie rods are up here again, but not a lot to be shared on those, is there? So let's match these up and see if I can get this right. Well, definitely not at the bottom. They're actually different lengths as well. And at the top, definitely not. So therefore, these cannot be shared either. These are a lot more bulky, you can see that, and the bearings are completely different sizes as well. Well, how interesting. I'm just going to take these and these. I look at the front pins, but I think they're going to be similar. Yeah, again, different lengths on those. Lengthwise, they're not that far off actually, just a little smidgen more on that one, as you can tell. Not gonna fit, because this one here is slightly wider. How about that end? It's close, but these pins are different as well. 2.4, 1.8, so they can't be shared either. And the angles on these are completely different. If you see down at the bottom here, this angle is a lot more. That part is identical, but of course turn it around. Slightly lower on that side. I really did expect there to be more shareable parts between the two. Absolutely shocked, to be honest with you. That's a real surprise. Right, let's have a look at the swing arm holders. Because once again, I mean, these are actually all completely different. All four of them. And then you move over to these ones here. And the biggest thing that you can see right away is that these have pin holders in them. So the pins, once they've gone in, cannot come out. Where these just have holes. And that's why you have the rear bumper and the front bumper have these gashes here that will hold the pins in position for you, you see. So again, cannot be shared. Was one thing that I noticed that can be shared, and I will show you that in a moment. Right, so differentials. This is the empty casings, completely different and size-wise for the gears. So it's not even worth attempting it, because if you change the gears on these, you've got to change the gears on these, and then you've got to change these gears, and then of course you've got to change the gears on the cone gears here, and then on the pinion, because everything is affected by it. It's natural. You literally you cannot be share. You cannot share. I mean, look at the difference in the size there. They cannot be more different. And I mean, you get to the pinion gears and then everything just goes completely to pot. Completely different gearing. Let's do it that way so that you can see them. Look at that gearing. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Unbelievable. Again, completely different system. I was just in my head trying to figure out why this is so much shorter than that one, but of course you've got that like that. So, and then of course then that one will be, no, not that one. Yeah, it is that one. That one will be on the end. They're very similar, aren't they? Which one is it? Yeah, okay, it was that one. Right, it's all getting complicated. So that's like that. Okay, now for those that want to know, I'm here anyway. 5.4, 4.9 bearing on this one here is 7, 11, 3, 8, 12, 3.4. Everything's different. The hexes are the same, obviously, but I even noticed that the nuts are not the same. So that brings us nicely onto CVDs and dog bones and drive shafts, and of course I broke this one, but when you put them side by side they are completely different. But of course then you've got the issue of these nuts do not fit at all. So does this one fit on this tyre? No, it does not. So you can't even share the wheels. Oh my god, they have changed absolutely everything. For those that want to know, the front and rears are identical on the XLF F17. I will again do some measurements, seeing as we are here. Thickness 3.5, 4.8. Then you've got steps, you see, 3.9, 3.8. 3.9, 3.8 is probably just the same, isn't it? It's because of the thread. Let's do the 2.4, 3.9. Where are the rears of here? Here we go. Rear dog bones. 3.9, and the actual dog bones themselves are 2.4. So, batteries are interchangeable. You can change them. 1,500 milliamps on the WL Toys and 1,600 on the XLF. And it brings me to the other thing that I can see that can be shared is the motor mounts. But I hope I'm correct on this. Maybe not. Oh no, I'm not. I thought I was, because it was only, I haven't actually done this yet. I haven't put them side by side. It was just because of the way I looked at it, and I thought they do actually line up, but it's the first time I put them back to back. And while everything does line up really nicely, of course height wise it doesn't, which means that this would be sitting too low for everything to line up. Because you need to remember, if this is sitting too low, then this will also be sitting too low, and when that sits too low, it will be hitting the chassis. So you can't even share that. So we are to the absolutely shocking conclusion that nothing can be shared. Absolutely nothing can be shared. Trying to keep everything where it should be. Moving that to one side. Controller, motor, ESC, servo, same here. Right, so battery on, power on, power on, and I will hold this and you can hear working fine. Ooh, there's a little washer there. That was lucky, wasn't it? Right, I will turn that off. That's off, right? Yeah, so turn on. Battery on. For those that have got good eyesight, you may have noticed that I had a nightmare getting this motor off the mount. Whatever screws they used in here to hold it on were in fact just made from bubble gum. Because even when I'd heated them up for sort of 3-4 minutes and tried to gently undo them, they still wouldn't come undone. So that was a nightmare, and I actually managed to snap that one off. So that wasn't good for me, but I noticed that this one is exactly the same motor that's in the Xilongyi Q903, which is quite interesting. So anyway, that's turned on. This is now turned on. I assume that you can see the screw head moving there. And power. Cool. Right, now I will turn this one off. Just turn that one off to reset it. Turn it back on again. And now I'm turning on the WL Toys. Dewey's got, that's still flashing. Nothing. So that doesn't work that way. Unplug that. Turn that on. And turn on the Xilongyi, the XLF. Same thing, both are still flashing, and so you can't even share electronics. I mean, like, you can share the batteries, but I mean, you can't even take the motor from that one and put it on this one, because of course this one is brushless. You see, we have 3 wires compared to the 2 there. So, there you go, ladies and gents. How about that for a shock result? Oh! These can be shared. Wow. Those can be shared, the straps for the battery. I can't believe that. Absolutely shocking. Shocking, shocking, shocking. So we've got pins, straps, and shocks. Not a lot, is there? So, for those that wanted the comparison, there you go. It's taken me a long time, so please, ladies and gentlemen, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, show the love. What do I have to do to get you to show the love? Please, just stay safe, take care of yourselves, and I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.